Welcome to another firearms and safety YouTube channel. This is part 2 to getting the MCX Rattler to run subs with CGS Hyperion on there. This is strictly to help assist SIG with the ticket that they have regarding this particular issue. Just want to say first and foremost, this thing runs like a dream on supers, but it has yet to be able to cycle more than, I want to say, 2 to 5 subs in a row, even on the plus gas setting. Also, I know that this is not like the standard stock configuration of a Canebrake. I will put this all back together. But yeah, if you'll just allow me to go through a couple things that I'm looking to get fixed here regarding this, and then I have a couple theories as to why this might be happening. So first things first, I actually just noticed this recently. Although this is a little different, this wear here is from putting this on a plastic circular fence for, I want to say, about 30 seconds without putting much weight on it. So yeah, the finish here is just, I don't know what happened, but it just seems like it's coming off rather quickly, or definitely more quickly than it should. This is not something that's been abused or anything like that. I was looking at taking a shot, and yeah, pretty much I just rested it on there for a good maybe 30 to 60 seconds, maybe maneuvered the gun a little left to right, but that was really about it. So not sure if that's something that gets fixed or whatever. I know it's a separate product, so I just wanted to mention that. Now, obviously, the primary issue is that this won't cycle subs. There's a number of things that I think is going on with that, but some general information, about 750 plus rounds through this. 500 has been through supers, about 250 plus have been with subs, and for supers I've used 120 grain SIG Copperhead, 110 grain Black Hills, the TTSX, 110 grain Barnes Vortex, the TAC-T X FB, which are all solid copper rounds. And then for subs, I've used 220 grain OTM Black Hills, 198 dual purpose Black Hills. Then I used 190 grain discrete ballistics ammo, as well as 188 discrete ballistics ammo, 220 grain SIG OTMs. I've used the Maximum Maxim subs, as well as the Gorilla subs, and there's a few others that I'm leaving out. But no matter the combination of mag, it's just not cycling subs. So it really seems to get to about the, I'm gonna say to about here or here. And that's one thing that you'll notice is one of the issues that is extremely difficult. Like it's almost like a two-stage bolt carrier. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but it has been a little bit of an issue, and hoping that it could be rectified. Now, just I'm going to break this apart and just kind of show you some odd parts. One of the things that I found was very, very challenging is the and just the odd amount of wear that's happening on the charging handle. You can almost smell the metal when it's coming back in. This is obviously well lubed, but yeah, you've got like a regular pull, and then it just stops, and then it becomes extra difficult. So that's, and then you can even hear it grinding. Listen. Now this is wet. You know, it's freshly lubed. So this is wet, and for some reason you can only hear metal scratching on that. So not really sure what's going on there, but I think that this could be part of the problem, where it's like hanging up a little bit around the 80% mark. I have an FO2 gas plug And yeah, I would definitely love to get these, I don't know if this is possible, but I'd love to get this right here, this little steel part. I'd like to get that put in here so I can actually use this without wearing down the aluminum. And so I'm going to take this apart, and I'm going to show a couple different things that that I think are just a little problematic that I need a little assistance with. So basically, give me a second, I'll disassemble this. All right. So we're going to start with the lower here. Now, the lower, it's in pretty good shape. It's doing me pretty well. But one of the things that I was concerned about was this little bit of wear that you see right here. Now this is actually indented. I'm not sure where this is from, but it's indented, and it's something that I just thought you guys might want to take a quick look at. Just, I mean, I also noticed some uneven wear on the hammer here, and as you can see, just make sure you get a good shot of that. Just all black, and then you have like this weird silver kind of tip here. So I don't know what's really going on, but it's definitely uneven in regards to the wear. And so I noticed this as well. So you got this just uneven, odd wear on the on this gun here. And I know that, you know, tolerances run tight when it comes to this. So, you know, a lot of this comes in with the whole you know, with the whole break-in period. But it's just it's almost too tight to the point where you know, it's doing funny things even to my ammo. And you can see this here. You see it's just the scratching the heck out of the, see that? Goes all the way up and down the casing. So I'm not sure what the issue with that is, but I think that it could have something to do with it. Okay. So that's one thing. So we've got not cycling subs. We've got the weird marks on the lower. Got marking up brass in funky ways. Then we have the uneven wear in the bolt carrier group. Looks good and everything looks pretty healthy. You know, even the wear looks pretty even. All right. Nothing out of the ordinary here. But what is out of the ordinary, in my opinion, I know it's an AR-18 system, but the wear on this charging handle is pretty wild. I don't think that I've ever seen anything like it. You've got, I mean, just the bluing is gone completely. You do have that metal smell. And for context, this has got about 750 rounds through it, and that wearing is just all over. In comparison, now again, I know this is an AR-18 system, but by comparison, I do have another charging handle. This has got about 500 rounds through it. So 500 rounds on an MK18, right? A little bit of wear. Totally normal, right? Nothing crazy. But if you look at the comparison, it's just it just feels like it's grinding every time I'm pulling it up against or just pulling that charging handle back. So that is definitely a big concern of mine. And it could have something to do with the issue. You know, perhaps tolerances are a little bit too tight, and it's not, you know, when you get pistol pressures via the subsonic 300 blackout round, it's not allowing it to cycle. I do have the whole FO2 gas system or gas plug in there, which has been cleaned out. And, you know, just I'm not necessarily sure just why there's so much wear going on with such a relatively low round count. And so, speaking of wear, I've heard that this is relatively normal. You see that big scratch in the back there? Apparently I'm told this is from the cam pin, but if you actually like press this part here, there's an indentation. You can actually kind of hear it, right? This also runs the entire length, well, not the entire, but most of that, going all the way to the back, which is definitely concerning. Get a little better shot of that. So that is another thing I was definitely concerned about. Not sure if that's normal, but I know that cam pin wear, you know, happens. But this is, again, within 750 rounds. And I mean, that's just deep. You know, that's just real deep right there. Yeah, let's see if I can you could feel it out. Yeah. Now this was gritty when I got it, but it smoothed out the upper, which is good. Smoothed out with use, just fine. But yeah, just super concerning here regarding just the pulling back of the charging handle. It's always getting locked up somewhere around this 80% mark right here. So this whole 80% mark, after this, it just has trouble going back. And you even saw when I was first pulling back the charging handle, even back to here, it starts to have some problems. So really, it kind of comes down to that. So not cycling subs, odd wear on the lower, the cam pin scratch over here. And then we've also got the whole marring of the charging handle and marring of the brass. So that's kind of the main issues here. And, you know, I do have a couple theories which, you know, could possibly be the reason as to what's going on here. Firstly, I'm going to blame the suppressor a little bit, which obviously is not SIG, and totally understand, you know, that there could be some issues going on with the suppressor, particularly if you look at the design of the suppressor. Here in this green hole, you have an outer annulus, and then gases are also reintroduced back into the suppressor. And so this changes the pressure differential throughout the suppressor. And I'm not sure, you know, with this being a 9.5-inch suppressor on a 5.5 inch barrel, if that's really affecting the overall performance of the gas, even though I do have the FO2 gas plug, which is one of the larger ones. So firstly, we could, you know, I could blame the suppressor, right? But the thing about this is that there's no literature that says that it doesn't work, you know, with this suppressor. There's a couple other people that are having this issues. So I'm not really sure how that could influence. Maybe it's just too much can on too little barrel, but the whole goal was to be able to shoot supers and subs and get this whole setup to be as quiet as possible. If I understand correctly, there's a number of other suppressors, such as the Q suppressors, such as some of the SIG suppressors, which are 7+ inches, and doesn't seem to be an issue on a 5.5-inch barrel. So basically, we could always start with the suppressor. Could be that the gas ports are out of spec on this. Perhaps the springs to the bolt carrier group are just a little too stiff, you know. I mean, it does seem to have that. And it's always seemed fine to me, but it's almost like, again, that 2-stage. Now I've broken this in. I've left this with the last round bolt open. excuse me, with the bolt held back for, a couple days. And again, I sat there just trying to rack while it's all lubed up, rack that charging handle a whole bunch to get that going. But it could also be, just a theory. Obviously, I'm just kind of theorizing here that this scratch here is so deep that it's basically causing a little bit of friction with the bolt carrier group, which isn't allowing it to go back, which is one option. The other option is that perhaps with the suppressor, the gas plug here, again, this is on the plus setting, and it clicks just fine. It's not, I mean, the gun did come with the barrel that wasn't torqued all the way, but I fixed that, and it wasn't torqued to spec. But I'm thinking like maybe an EO5 might be the way to go, something with a larger port, which could be the way to go. The other thing that I could think of is that perhaps the feed ramp and the chamber just need some polishing, perhaps a little bit too tight, those tolerances. But yeah, I mean, no matter what kind of ammo I give this, there seems to be a significant issue. You can also see some of this wear that's going on here, which is oddly reflective of the wear happening in the charging handle. So if you can see this, it kind of looks very similar to what's going on there. Just a theory. But yeah, this is just kind of just a visual of what is going on with this suppressor, or excuse me, with this setup. I'll have this bagged up and good to go when and I'll replace all this stuff with stock parts. But yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to let me know. You guys know how to reach me. But just want to say thank you for taking the time to view this video and helping me resolve this issue. I've been a fan of SIG for a long time, so this was kind of like a gift to myself when you go to the shop or go to the dealership. And I purchased this directly from you guys over in New Hampshire. So yeah, it's been a little bit of fluster. Sometimes get a little frustrated having some issues, but mechanical things kind of tend to have issues, and I appreciate you guys doing everything you can to really to help me fix this. So super grateful for you, and I just want to say thank you so much, and I hope you all have a good day.